Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at MATIC. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback in the comment section down below. Always happy to hear from you guys, so why not just drop us a message down there. Okay, so let's get into this. What we were looking at is basically the potential we could have had this as a completed B wave into this high point. However, currently, it's not suggesting it by the structure that this is the case, because what we'd be looking for is the potential for 5-wave structure here. And there is a way we can talk about this, but before we jump into that, I'm going to go with why I'm looking at this as a potential completed move. So if I go from this low point, and I get this right up here onto this high point, let's get them up there, down into this low point here, let's go there. We can see that we've actually come up to this into this 1.618 to this 1382 zone with this move. So generally speaking, if we're going to get an expanding flat, this is the zone we could look to potentially move into. So for the most part, it has met it in that requirement. So it is possible, like I said, that we have this as a 1, 2, this is a third wave into here, where we have an extension within this 5th wave as well. So this would then mean that we potentially completed here. However, with this current structure, for as long as we hold this zone, we need to just be aware we could see some further extension. And it does seem to be that we are forming some 5-wave structure here. We can count this as a corrective move though as well, where we have potentially, this is an A, this could all be a B wave as a flat, and then look for a C wave to the downside. So if that's the case, potentially the area we could look to travel to is this 8868 to this 8045 region. And that would be looking at this potentially as an A, a B, and a C, though the 1-to-1 would actually look to fall short if this was the case. If I'm going to look at it from this side, potentially up into this high point, we can see that that 1-to-1 would actually just bring us back down to this 9308 region. So what we would actually have to see here is a deeper move, a deeper move for here to indicate that we are actually within the C wave. And what I would be looking for that would be the fact that we could actually have this as a wave 1, this is a 2 as a flat, and then looking to break down. But for confirmation of that, we'd want to actually break down past this 8685 zone, look for a retracement, potentially to retest these lows, and then break down one more time, which would put us into this zone with a 5-wave move if this is the case. Then if we are looking for the C wave, what we'd want is basically from this low point now, we'd want to see this retrace to the upside in a 3-wave move and then have that continuation to the downside. So that 1-to-1 target still potentially in play of 6172, and potentially deeper if we'd start to form a impulsive structure to the downside. So we just got to bear this in mind. Okay, so now what happens if this is not completed? So either we can get two things play out here. Either this becomes an A wave, where I've got this B wave, so this whole move from back here basically becomes an A wave. Then we look for that retracement for a B wave, and then we look to push up one more time for a C wave. So this is something we need to bear in mind, and as long as we hold the 7479 area, there is potential for us to see extensions here to the upside. So we need to just bear that in mind. This will be a crucial support zone should we start to fall back down. If we start to lose this area, it becomes more likely that we're actually going to break through this zone. So the alternative within this option is looking at this slightly differently. If I just turn this on, if we read this slightly different in the fact that we're having had an extension within the 3rd wave rather, and we actually look to complete into this high point, what we can then argue is that we potentially have, let me change the color of it, let's put it green. So this green 5th wave is potentially still looking to play out, and we've come actually back down into that 4th wave position, which we tend to find, which is between that 382 and that's 50%. We didn't lose that 50%. So for as long as we actually hold this low now, there's 9167, it's actually possible we could see some extension to the upside here. And we can have a look at this in a few ways. We can argue that potentially this is actually just completed and truncated into this high, and we're starting to break down from here. However, it isn't looking, I haven't got enough indication of that yet. The problem is with this, I was looking at this potentially as a 1, 2, 3, 4, but we've actually come down past that 50%, and we've actually gone more towards that 618 zone. So we can see we've retraced here to that 618, and it looks to be that this has been an A, a B, and a C wave to the downside. So for the most part, at the moment, we are still sort of within this zone. So if we hold this zone and we don't really fall, so lowest I'd want to see is move down past this 7586. I wouldn't really want to go much lower than that. But for as long as we hold this low point of 93.72 and this low point of this 91.67, it's possible we could actually start to see some extension within this move. So currently off of the structure and looking at this potentially as a completed move into here, what we could have is setting up for a third wave to the upside. So that third wave could potentially look to take us up to this 1554 area. But what we would want to see here is basically to start seeing this moving away from this zone. For as long as we move sideways here, it is possible this could become a more complex structure. It could be, I don't really like the internals of it, but we could argue that there's potential to get a triangle here, where we get this as an A wave, this is a B wave, we break back down for that C wave, D wave, and an E wave. But we'd only get confirmation by the time we form this D wave. So I don't, the internal structure is not looking great for it. You'd have to argue that somewhere that this would be an A, a B, and a C down into these lows. Then this would be an A, B, C, and we failed to get that additional leg up. And then this is potentially becoming a more complex structure as a double zigzag. So if we looking for this C wave, we can argue that potentially within this move we might get something like this as a W, push back up here, fail to take this high point to 104 again, and then push down again for that Y wave to the downside, and then potentially look to target out somewhere in the zone of, it depends exactly where this would go to the upside. Let me just measure that off quickly off of the current structure. So 1-to-1 would take us up to, let me just drop it on there. So 1-to-1 would take us actually up to this area here, which is 103.32. So if we do get this as a three-wave move to the upside, effectively what we'd be looking for is the potential that this is an A, a B, and a C up, and then we actually look to break down from there for this Y wave, and that could actually indicate that we have a bigger triangle playing out here. If we're getting a triangle in this position, once again we can look at it in two ways, that either that we've had that 5-wave move complete into this high, we're getting a triangle, and then we're going to get another 5-wave move, although that does not, then if that does play out, that wouldn't fit into the count of having this set as a flat anymore. The only way that this works as a triangle is if it's in the 4th wave position, but the problem is if we're looking at it as a triangle compared to this wave 2, it is starting to get quite big. So we would have to argue that potentially it'd make more sense if that was a 5-wave, so an A, B, and then we're looking to push up for that zigzag. So we just got to give it a bit more time. If we do start to break down here, like I said, the zone of support I'd be looking for is in this area, but I am potentially looking for that continuation to the upside. So for as long, basically within this move, we wouldn't want to drop down too much lower than where we are already if we do progress down some more, and basically that 95.90 really wouldn't want to go much lower than that before looking for this continuation to the upside. If we do look to move to the upside here, basically we could see a series of additional 5-wave moves within here, and that could actually look to take us higher up past this $1.20 zone. So the thing is, within this structure, we've sort of met the minimum requirement as a correction, so it needs just a little bit of time here, because it's not making much sense, because this is getting quite complex, and either we have a truncation, and potentially we have this fifth wave finish here and we're going to start to break down from here, or we still have this possibility of extension. So like I said, for as long as we hold these low points of this 93.74 and finally this 91.67, 67, basically we have the potential to start forming some impulsive structure up here, where we can look at this as 1 2 1 2, and then we start to push up some more. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Hopefully with a bit of time this will become more clear, but I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comments section. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Why not come and check it out? It's free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay everybody, we'll see you in the next video. Take care out there.